You're on.
Hello and welcome to On the Food Scene with Steve and cookbookslive.com. I'm here with David Burke, owner of this beautiful restaurant here at the Foxwoods MGM Casino. Thanks for sharing a few moments with me this morning, David. I think I've read about you, and I thought it was interesting that they said you're an artist, an entrepreneur, obviously a chef, and an artist. Tell me a little about what each component, how you involved with each of those components.
The artist, it's funny because you're the first person to ask me that. I think it goes back to my design of food. At one point I was blowing glass, and I've also since then designed a lot of my restaurants. But I think a lot of it has to do with the artful presentations of my food. The love tree, the cheese and pig, like I mentioned earlier. Having fun with presentations was one way to get people's attention and design, to this design element of the dish. I mean, if you look at a pizza, for example, or a burger, everyone can make a decent burger. Just look at it. Maybe it's the way the fries are presented. And when you take that into the roasted chickens and over saw and you go get into more exotic types of food, it's easier to make things more artistic.
I like what you said earlier about the Brooklyn Bridge, how to compete with the food. Pick up a little bit.
I was the chef at the River Buffet, which is still a wonderful restaurant. It's still around. The chef there is great. It was in the 80s, and it was really more known for its view than its food. Even though Charlie Palmer was a mentor of mine, I worked for him there. Then I took over, but I had to compete with the best view of any restaurant under the Brooklyn Bridge, looking at the Battery of New York City. And so my food had to be attention grabbing, because otherwise people would just,
Sure, take over the food.
My food had to dominate, and I think that, it has a lot to do with creating a style, because number one, you need the best ingredients, it has to taste good, it has to be seasoned. We also put a stamp on it, it has to look great.
And your food sure does look great.
Yeah, it has to look good.
Tell me a little about the eggshells. That one seems to be almost like a signature
the
for
eggs,
you.
it's funny because it started at the same restaurant in the 80s, and we would do things in sea urchin shells. And urchins are seasonal, so when they went out, I went to the eggshell. And again, the egg kind of stuck with me because I was the first to do certain things, cooked in eggshells, and use that as a presentation piece, as an hors d'oeuvre and stuff. And then one of my logos of my flagship restaurant is a chicken and walking with an eggshell. Like, what came first?
Sure.
The chicken or the egg. And so there's a lot of whimsy in cooking.
Creativity is just by far none. The lollipop tree.
You work so hard, and the people that come to your restaurant should enjoy the fact that you're having a little bit of fun. It still should be a serious meal, a serious product, I should say. But there should be a sense of somebody having a little bit of fun back there and enjoying what they do.
Talking about fun, tell me a little about why you think events like this Food and Wine Festival are important.
Well, you know what? There's a few reasons why it's important. One of them is to get people together. Other chefs, customers get to meet you. I've met a lot of people that have eaten here several times that they know I'm going to be here. It's an announcement. So there's, believe it or not, chefs have a lot of fans, which I still find a little bizarre. But when people get to meet you, they say hi, and we also get to meet each other.
Sure.
And there's got to be 15 new employees here that I haven't really not met yet.
Really? Wow.
No, it's just it's one of those things. And not only that, we had our staff. We had 15 from New York came up, and we had a good time. So
food people, when they get together, I know they do have a good time.
We had a little party last night. It was fun.
And who was your mentor in cooking? You've been doing this a long time.
Well, I worked for Charlie Palmer, who's the founder of Oriole Restaurant, and has many other restaurants on the West Coast now. I worked for a guy named Wally Maloof in Westchester. Dana Balloud I worked with, and I worked for a lot of good guys and a lot of good teachers in school too. As much as people don't like school, I kind of enjoyed it. I had some really very, very good teachers that were...
And where did you go to school?
I went to the CIA. My son is currently at Johnson Wales.
Okay, the competitor.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and Johnson Wales is a good school. So really, when I went for cooking alone, so when I went, it was 1980, the CIA was the place to go.
Sure.
Now I think there's more competition, and he's more into the management side of it, so Providence is a good place for him.
What can you tell an upcoming chef that's studying in a culinary school? I actually teach at a hospitality program, and I always tell my students, you don't expect to be a top chef when you come out of school.
You know, that's the key is to work for the right people. I mean, school is school. It's like going to medical school or law school. You're really going to learn more on the job, take school seriously, but it's really important who you work for when you get out. If you work for the right guy or girl, and you learn the right way, it's like going to a great school.
Sure.
So I think that's what's important. And now, don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush to hit it. You know, learn, go in a little early, work a little harder, ask questions. You know, it's a process.
Sure.
And it takes time.
Absolutely. Tell me a little about the cookbooks. You have two.
Yep.
This one is number 1, and this one is number 2.
This one I wrote in, she's looking at a picture. This is a great book. And what's good about my first book is it's inspirational for a youngster to read how I started. I mean, I read it every...
And that's what I love about the cookbooks is the history of the chef.
This is the making of a chef, the first one. The recipes are a little more complicated. This one is classic dish.
Made into more contemporary.
And then leftover. So this is a fun, user-friendly amateur book, as well as if you master one basic recipe, you can do the contemporary version, and then enjoy the fun is with the leftovers.
Yeah, I really like you take an old mac and cheese recipe, make it more traditional, and then what do you do with that leftover mac and cheese?
I don't even remember. I know we make meatloaf pancakes.
I saw that one in there. Well, David, it's been a pleasure speaking with you here in your beautiful restaurant. You have 6 restaurants?
It's an 8 as of January. We're opening our 8th one in New York.
So you've got a lot on the horizon.
We got a nice small company, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you know what? And the economy hasn't helped. But you know, we're in a nice position to grow, organize, and like I said about being a chef, don't be in a rush.
Well, tell our viewers where your restaurant's located so they want to visit you.
Well, we're in Foxwoods now. Most of our restaurants are on the Upper East Side, New York City, 61st Street and Park and Lex. We're in Bloomingdale's, New York. We're in Chicago, and we're in Vegas at the airport, and we're also in a wonderful town called Rumson, New Jersey, where I had my second cooking job, and I was fortunate enough to buy the restaurant 4 years ago.
Wow, terrific.
Yes.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to chat with you, and I will definitely come back here and visit you again. For cookbookslive.com and On the Food Scene with Steve, I'm Stephen Freese here at the Foxwoods Resort and Casino.